Wholehearted Business Show. I'm Laura, and this week on the show I'm going to be sharing a behind the scenes look at everything that I've been getting up to in life and business in the last quarter of the year. So that's been spring, between April and June. I love doing behind the scenes posts and just being able to share a bit of what I've been getting up to in my business, my income, what I've been working on, the lessons that I've learned and all of that jazz, just in the hope that, first of all, I find it quite cathartic to talk about this stuff for myself anyway, but also with the hope that it might actually be helpful for some of you guys listening who are also growing businesses yourself too. And also it's just really nice to be back on the show. I've just had a 2-week break. I'll talk a little bit about that actually as we go through. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you will see that I am in a brand new space. I have moved into our new office. And although this is not our final recording setup space, I need some nice artwork right behind me here. It is certainly a good start. So that's really exciting to begin with as well. So let's go back to April. I had a real trouble remembering what on earth had happened in April. And actually it's been a weird, I think overall it's just been a weird period of time for me, and I don't know if anyone else has experienced this, but I'll talk a bit more about it as we go through anyway. So in April, I didn't do a lot in April, to be honest. I served my client as usual, and I don't think there was anything, I didn't launch anything, I didn't do anything out of the ordinary. We had the Easter holidays slap bang in the middle of it, so I don't think I did lots in April because I would have took some time off with the kids and stuff as well, so I didn't do loads in April. One thing that I did do is I purchased Thrive Cart and Thrive Learn. So if you're not familiar with what these are, Thrive Cart is an online cart basically for selling your stuff, and it's something that a lot of people in the online coaching space use. I've had my eye on it for a while. I haven't purchased it up until now because it's quite expensive. I've spent £777 on Thrivecart and Thrive Learn, which is Thrivecart's learning platform. So it's a one-off fee and you have it for life. And it's been a really exciting investment to make. It is something that I'm still in the process of switching all of my carts and things over. If you have any of my courses and programs, at some point in the next few months, you'll probably get an email from me saying we're moving into a new online course platform from Teachable. One of the reasons I wanted to get Thrivecart was because the carts are just much more robust than what you get with Teachable. Also, the affiliate program is really strong as well, and I'd love to do more with affiliates for my stuff, and also because their learning platform looks really good too. So I hope that I can eventually get rid of Teachable, which is quite a large, it's one of my biggest monthly expenses, just so that I can streamline that expense down. That was quite exciting, getting to invest in that, and I'm really excited to get all of that stuff up and running. And I do have quite a few of my carts in Thrivecart now, but the whole process of switching over is quite a big one when you're like me and you've got several programs. So that's something that is in the pipeline to get done. And my total income in April was £4,402, and that's about $5,300, which I'm quite happy with. I think I mentioned in the last behind the scenes post that I did that my income in March was, I think when I said it on the show, I think I said it was currently when I was recording, it was about 8.5, but I had a 10k month in March. So that was really cool. And then I was really happy with the fact that I had over £4,000 in April. So that was pretty cool. And then in May, things got a little bit busier. So in May, I opened up a program called Connecting Content. So I knew I wanted to do something with a program that I've got called Blog School, which I absolutely love, and I think it's a really fantastic program. I think everything in there is really awesome. But I didn't just want to do Blog School, and what I was noticing was that I have a few programs that are all around creating content for your marketing strategy. So I've got Blog School, I have got Pinterest Magic, and I have How to Create a Multi-Platform Content Show, which teaches you how to create a show like this one. I knew I wanted to do something around that, so what I decided to do was bundle those products together and run a 4-week live round where you got those separate products, but you also got something that kind of links everything and that brings all of those things together as one learning experience basically. So I created Connecting Content and delivered that live over 4 weeks, and each week we had a live coaching call, and I also created some core content for that particular like I said, to connect everything together. And that was really good fun. I loved delivering that. We didn't have like tons of people in there, but we had a few, and it was just really great. I thoroughly enjoyed delivering it. I think the people who did it really enjoyed it. We had some very profound stuff come up in some of the calls, which was awesome, around confidence and visibility. That was really good fun to deliver, and I really enjoyed that. I also think around May, so I'll get into the stuff that I've had going on personally, but I think I've mentioned a few times that we have been having some building work done in our house. I am sat right now in the result of that. So we're almost done. We're not quite done, but we're almost done. But it has been quite a disruptive, like, to my routine and to my productivity. It's been quite disruptive. And I think what I found in May was that I was feeling a bit overwhelmed. I think I talked about it in a couple of the shows, that I was feeling quite overwhelmed and I needed to make some decisions. And I think I was really just reflecting on, like, how do I want my life and business to be right now? And like, how do I want my business to help facilitate me feeling good in my life and everything, really. And I decided around about that time that I was going to make my 6-month group program evergreen. So I don't really plan to do any launches with that in particular. I might do some focused openings, but nothing like a big launch. So I'll put that into evergreen only, which has been fab. So that's really cool. And I also had been planning to run a summit in June, and that has definitely not happened. I postponed that, and I've got lots of different thoughts and feelings on that, but I've postponed that for now. And another thing that I did in May, which was quite cool, was I joined a program that has nothing to do with business. So I joined an e-course from Hannah Boulevant, who is an interior stylist, and she has a course called Fresh Nest. So I joined her Fresh Nest e-course, and that is really based around interior design, interior styling, how you want your home to feel. And it was just a bit of a treat to myself. So it wasn't a cheap course, it was a decent investment, but it felt really good to invest in learning something that actually has nothing to do with business. And sometimes I feel like when we are running our businesses, it can be easy to feel like everything that we need to be investing in is just for our businesses. So it's been really good fun. I think we're on week 5 of that course, of an 8-week course or 10-week course, and it's been really good fun and is really helping me in terms of all the stuff that we've got going on at home. So that was really cool. And then in May, my income was £3,400, and that's about $4,130-ish, I think. Again, happy with that. Not nowhere near like my biggest month, but I think what I've reflected on over this quarter, that it was very much, I was very much consciously slowing things down and just letting things be. And I'll talk a bit about that soon as well. And then in June, so as I record this, it is the 28th of June. It's the morning of the new moon, which has been fab. In June, like quite quiet-ish, like in terms of the business stuff, I did a talk around imposter syndrome at a local co-working space. So this is the first talk that I've done in a long time, probably since 2019 when I went to Dublin and did some presentations at Thrive. So it's been a little while, and that was really good fun. I really enjoyed going over to that co-working space, to Commonplace, and that was awesome. Really enjoyed that. Met some lovely people, and that was really fab. It just really reminded me how much I like talking in that way, basically. But I really enjoyed that. And I also currently, or actually it's just stopped, I think, but I have been part of a bundle with InfoStack. So I've done a bundle with InfoStack before, and I think I've explained about what bundles are, but basically it's where people put together a collection of different coaches' digital products usually, and then those are sold off together. And the benefit for you is that often you're an affiliate, and also that it helps you grow your list. So that has just ended. I think I've made about $350 in affiliate income for that, and so far I've had 23 people join my list, but that will increase quite a lot because people drip in over the course of the full year, which is sometimes a bit annoying, but in terms of like managing those subscribers. But that's been quite good fun to be part of as well, and that there were some really awesome courses and things in that bundle, so that's been really awesome too. And I also made quite a big change to how I approach Instagram in June too. So I'm going to actually record a full separate episode of the show just on that change. But it's interesting, I think I went into the quarter wanting to experiment with Instagram and wanting to experiment with posting more, and what I've actually found as a result is that I've ended up posting a lot less, and there's some big learnings around that. But essentially what I've done on Instagram is I've implemented something called an evergreen Instagram funnel, which basically means I don't post on my grid at all. There's a set of 9 posts there at the top of my grid now that serve as a bit of a funnel for people who might find my account. And because grid posts on Instagram get absolutely fuck all engagement at the moment, it was just proven to be like a massive waste of time. I think I had a couple of weeks off around the school holidays, and then I came back, I created a post for Instagram on the grid, like a carousel. It got like 4 likes, and I was just basically, I've just spent like loads of time creating that and no one's seeing it. And is it because it's shite content, or is it because of Instagram? Who knows? But I just felt like something needed to change, and then I came across this strategy and it just sounded really fun. So I'm experimenting with that over the summer, because a big thing that I'm working on now is how I can work a lot less over the summer, which I'm going to share in a sec. So that's been really good fun to implement that strategy and put that in place. So that's been quite cool. And like I say, I'm going to talk about that in a separate show episode, because I feel like it's something that could benefit a lot of you guys actually who are not massively keen on social media, which I know a few of you guys would resonate with that. So we moved into the office in June, which has been really great. It's not finished yet. There's still like a lot of art that needs to go on the walls and stuff, but it is really cool to be in here, and it's a lovely space. It's very calm. I just love it. But we've still got quite a bit of building work still going on. It's not finished yet. So there's still some bits going on, and that's still doing its thing, but we're getting there, and there's a lot of decorating still to do, like a lot, but we'll get there with that. And yeah, and there was like other personal stuff going on, which I'll get into in just a sec as well. So that was June business wise, and my income at the moment, I've still got a day, but my income at the moment was £3,588, and that's about $4,400 ish. So not my biggest months at all, but still really happy with that income, considering that I've really took my foot off the pedal in quite a profound way, which I'm going to talk about in a sec, and why that's actually okay. So that's where I'm at for the year so far. So the year to date, my income is just under 30k, which I'm really happy with halfway through. If I managed to double that for the rest of the year, I'd be ecstatic. I'd be really happy with that as in terms of income. So that is all good for me. And then, yeah, some of the lessons that I've learned. So it's been like a tricky few months, and I've been reflecting on this as I was writing notes for this show, and I think it's really important that we share when things have been tough, and not that anything I've experienced has been really terrible in the grand scheme of things, especially given what we've got going on in the world, but for me, given how things usually are, the last few months have been just not, I don't want to say I felt resistance, it's not resistance, it's just felt sticky, like it's just felt difficult, more difficult than normal. And I think there's been lots of different things going on. Like I had a really particularly tricky couple of weeks really running up to now, which involved like my mum getting sick with COVID. Like she's been fine, but it was more the knock-on impact of that, like the stresses of childcare being knocked out, the kids not being well, and just lots of stuff going on. I'm really active on our school PTA, and we had our summer fair, which was like a huge thing. I was really poorly, but I dragged myself to the school fair, and it was great, and it was 100% worth it. But it's just been like a very tricky couple of weeks, and to the point where I even sent an email to my group program and mentioned it to some clients and just said, I'm having a really difficult week, and I believe in being fully human in our businesses. And that for me, even just that, and just admitting that things were tough and actually making sure that people understood. And I didn't say it because I wanted to inform my clients and let them know if I'm a bit slow and if things are taking a bit longer than normal, it's because I'm having a rough week, and that's okay. And actually, we're all human. And I think a big lesson for me that it's come up over the last couple of weeks is that you're allowed to be a human in your business. When we feel resistance to that, I think it's a lot of internalized capitalism, patriarchy, and I did wonder, like, what are my clients going to think of me from me emailing and saying just a FYI, kind of if I'm a bit slow, it's just because I'm having a tricky week. And I thought, actually, no, this is about, I want to model that for people as it's been modeled to me. And the person who jumped into my mind with this is Elizabeth Goddard. I think she models being human in her business really well. Something that's really important to me is that I want my business to be a reflection of the world that I want to see. And I think we should all be allowed to be human and have bad days and bad weeks, and not for that to be the end of the world. So that was a big learning, I think, for me as well. And also another thing connected to that was I really, from having a period of being really consistent, I think, with Instagram, it just fell off a cliff. And I think there was a lot of guilt around that. One of the things that people often say to me is, oh, you're always posting on Instagram and you're always there and you're like visible and stuff like that. And I'm a human, so I quite enjoy getting that praise. Not being very consistent all of a sudden. I think it was the school holidays, and then I just had this kind of moment where I was just like, this is really hard and things are really hard right now and I need to let go of something off my plate. And that was behind why I took a 2-week break for the show. It was just, I was like looking at what I had on and really struggling to find a time to record because of the situation that we're in and just in terms of the building work and stuff. And just being able to say to myself, like, it's fine, like, the world is not going to end, my business is not going to implode if I take 2 weeks off recording my show and if Instagram just drops for a little bit. And again, that was one of the reasons why I was really attracted to this Instagram strategy. So letting go of that a little bit, letting go of the idea that people might look up to me because I am really consistent and then all of a sudden I'm not, and feeling like a failure because of that. There was some big lessons to be learned around that, I think, and just allowing myself to be human and not be perfect and not worrying about what people might think of me. I feel like there's been a bit of a shedding of that for me over the last few weeks as well, of certainly when it comes to other coaches and other people in this online space, and not worrying about what they might think about me actually, and realising how much I did worry about what they might think and starting to let some of that go, I think has been quite important. And actually just knowing that how I feel in my business is way more important than what anyone else's perceptions of me. How I feel is much, much more important. And that's been a really helpful and humbling kind of lesson for me, I think, over the last few weeks. So there's been a lot of surrendering going on, a lot of letting things go, a lot of, it's been difficult but profound few weeks. And I think I'm still letting the lessons from that formulate in my mind a little bit. But this morning, like I say, I'm just coming out of this very, particularly difficult, TMI, but had COVID, started my period, had very intense emotional PMT, and it was the dark moon. It's just literally the new moon today as I record this, and I'm definitely just feeling the mists are starting to clear a little bit, and I'm starting to feel a bit of a shift, a very welcome shift, and a bit of a refocus. Things that have been really helpful actually around that is I took up a free trial for the Shani astrology app, and I wasn't intending on keeping it past the free trial, but she's got some meditations on there which are just, I think they're really, really short, but they are just, I was listening to them the other night and they are just gorgeous. The language she uses and the words are just pure medicine. They are absolutely gorgeous. So I would definitely recommend that to anyone who wants really short, really beautiful to listen to meditations. And that's really been it's just been like medicine for me over the last few days, really. They've been fantastic. So I've thoroughly enjoyed that. That's just something to check out if you like the sound of that kind of thing. So those have been some of the lessons that I've learned. One of the biggest things that is at the top of my mind at the moment is really this kind of slowing down. So I think I mentioned earlier on, there's been a very conscious slowing down around pushing in the business, particularly, and I'm absolutely okay with that. I think I've needed that slight step back, and over the summer I will continue to not be all gung-ho about everything. I want to take some time off with the kids. I want to basically, over the summer, I want to work about 2 days a week. So at the moment I work four. At the moment I work 4. And to be honest, over the last few months I've literally worked the least amount of hours in my business ever. If I've done 10 to 15 hours a week, that's a good week. There's been lots of going for coffee with friends. There's been lots of resting. There's been lots of non-work going on. And I just feel like I've needed it. And I think this is the thing about seasons of life and your business being able to facilitate those a little bit. And I feel like that's where I've been. But going into the summer, I really want to work as little hours as possible. So I've been doing a lot of work now to help set that up to make sure that can happen easily. Things like the Instagram change in strategy and other things. I've got a few weeks before the 6 weeks holidays start for the kids being off. So I've got a few things to finish off and to get wrapped up, and then hopefully I'll be working a lot less. But I just feel like in general, in this phase of life, there's been this letting go, not hustling, almost extreme anti-hustle. Not that I haven't been doing anything, I've still been doing stuff, and I've been serving amazing clients, and I've still had new leads coming in and all of that. There's just been this kind of weird shift but a nice shift. I feel like September I'm going to be totally raring to go. It just feels like this is where I'm at the moment. Also as well, one of the things I did notice when I was writing notes for this is I looked at my email list numbers and they have not really grown since March. So that's a bit of a flag for me. I was talking about leads. I'm still getting like new leads for clients coming in at a really nice rate, but my email list has not grown very much. So that's something I want to focus on. If not over the summer, definitely going into September as well. And literally, as right in the middle of me recording the show, I've just had a phone call from the nursery to come and collect Freya because she's got a temperature. So that is really the perfect summary of where things are at with me at the moment in terms of what's going on. So yeah, it's definitely been an interesting quarter. Lots of really great things, lots of challenge, like lots of just like I said, just personally challenging stuff, I think. And it's just felt sticky, but I really feel like I'm coming out at the end of it. Really excited about the summer. It's going to be my 40th birthday, so I turn 40 in August. And I think that's another reason why I don't want to work loads of the summer. I just want to enjoy this milestone in my life, really, and it does feel like a bit of a milestone. So I actually officially registered and started my business the day before I turned 30, so it just feels, being 40 is a bit of a milestone, I think, and I just really want to enjoy that. And it just feels like there's a lot of there's been so many internal shifts going on, and it's just been a really big shift, but I'm really excited about what's to come. So I think to sum up today's show, I think where my head's at right now is, how can my business help me facilitate more of the life that I want to live? And that includes the work that I want to do with people and how I want to help others. And that really feels like where I'm at. And I think that's the question that I'm going to be spending some of the summer answering, and also just marking this big milestone that is turning 40 and thinking about what I want the next decade of my life to look like. When I turned 30, it was a big deal, and I really thought about what I wanted my 30s to look like, and I really feel like I'm there again. And it's this really great opportunity to just to consider what is going to come, what's to come, what needs to shift, and all of that basically. So I'm quite excited to see what happens over the next few months, and certainly for the rest of the year. I'm very excited. I feel like September's always like my time. Like, that's come back after birthdays in the summer, and I come back and September is when I'm raring to go. But in the meantime, I'm just really happy just to have a really chilled summer. So I'm quite looking forward to that. So watch this space. Obviously, I'm going to talk about this Instagram strategy that I think you guys will find really interesting. So I'm going to talk about that next week. But yeah, I'd love to know if any of this has resonated. I feel like these are quite self-indulgent episodes of the show. But I do hope that by me sharing some of the stuff that I've had going on, some of my thought processes, some of the things that I've worked on, just a bit of a behind the scenes look at what my business looks like, I hope that's helpful. And that's what I should have said earlier on as well. It's just a reminder for people who might be new. What my business income is made up of is one-to-one coaching and mentoring, one-to-one design services. So one of my packages is it's almost like a startup package for new coaches, which includes website and brand design, because I am a designer as well. And I've got a group program called the Wholehearted Business Program, which is fantastic. That's a 6-month group program. I have a whole range of different small courses and programs. I also have affiliate income coming in, and that's really what my income looks like in my business right now. So when I shared those figures earlier, those are all like the combination of that kind of income that's coming in. And at some point I will do a proper breakdown. I've just never gotten around to sitting and actually doing it that way. The way that my cash flow spreadsheet works isn't that way, so I need to sit down and do it. And that's where I'm at. I feel like this has been a very jumbly show, very much reflective of the quarter that I'm talking about, especially when I got the phone call from the nursery from my daughter, which is pretty typical. So I hope that you guys have found this useful. Let me know what your thoughts are, and I will see you next time. And please do, again, pop me a DM on Instagram. Come and check out my Instagram feed. I am at Wholeheartedly Laura. Come and check out what I've done on there, ready for next week. And pop me a DM as well if you've got any thoughts. If you're watching on YouTube, give me a thumbs up. And I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye.